Oh, yes. What's up, everyone? How's everybody doing? Good afternoon. We are here live from my office here, and welcome to ArmTalk. I'm your host, Jody Williams. With today, we are having prediction episode where we're talking about the Monster Michael Todd pay-per-view live from the Monster Factory. It will take place next Saturday, March 19th. And before I get any further, until we start seeing people jump on the scene, how's everybody doing? This episode is sponsored by Chap Ice Chapstick. No, it's not. I just got this out of my drawer. But I will say this though. Um, before I get into it and before we start having some people in here, I want to get a few things straight. Y'all like my hat, by the way? Yeah. Um, so when you do these prediction shows, okay, um, we live in an era where, if because some people get offended, some people get upset when you don't select them to win or whatnot, and it's not that big of a deal, it's really not. Seriously, not that big of a deal if by some way, shape, or form you don't get selected or somebody didn't pick you to win a certain match. So, because I've been on both ends of the spectrum, and honestly, it doesn't really matter to me, if somebody were to pick me or not, because it's just an opinion, right? I think some people get real, and I don't want to use the word sensitive. Can y'all hear me? Um, I don't want to use the word sensitive, Russ, what's going on, my man? Because we're going to talk about you and your match. I don't want people to get sensitive, but it's just the actual opinion, So before anybody gets all upset and stuff, and I really want to, hammer this home that whoever I decide to pick does not mean I don't like them. It does not mean I have anything against them. It's just who I think, will win. I think, some people need to realize that, hey, it's nothing personal. Like I said before, I've been not picked to win super matches, and it went the opposite way. But you can use that as motivation or whatever. So, Joel, what's up, buddy? How you doing? So here we are. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 7 matches on the card for March 19th next week in Arkansas at the Monster Factory, and we got 4 awesome matches, and then you got the 3, I guess you could say co-main events or whatnot. But I'll be making sure I'll be watching that while I have my team here, is because there's a certain match that I have personal valid investment with, and we'll talk about that more later on. Be sure to hit the like button, you guys. So let's get into it. First match we got, and when I say the first match, I'm not sure what order they're going to go in, so just kind of bear with me here. But we do have a ladies match. You got to give the ladies love, right? Okay, so we have Leanne Wilson and Danielle Llewellyn. Am I saying that last word? Llewellyn, but two opposite pullers. Okay, so Danielle, if you know who she is, she's very, very adequate in her powerlifting, right? She was at the Arnold, but she wasn't at the Arnold to arm wrestle. Okay, she wasn't there to arm wrestle. She's a power lifter, and that strength background can do a lot of damage. I do believe she was just at the all women's Texas tournament, all ladies event, and also Leanne Wilson was there. But here's Leanne, right? Now, take Leanne for example. This is why I like Leanne, right? Now, just hear me out. I like her style because she's very explosive, kind of like my style, There's nothing wrong with having power. I think having power is awesome. I can use more of it myself, But the explosion that you need to beat your opponent will last you. And the reason why I'm saying this now, because what I'm about to say right now is going to roll into a match with Justin Bear and Russ Schrader later on in this show. But when you take Leanne Wilson and she sets up and she curls up, and when she's hitting hard, right? Daniel York, what's up, man? How you doing? She's hitting hard, and when she takes off, she's taking off. Now, against somebody like Danielle, that can go one of two ways, right? Give me a second. Either A, she's going to hit a brick wall, or B, she's going to take everything she has and just take. And by the time Danielle catches her, instead of freezing her up on top, she might catch her out here, right? That could be devastating, But when you have somebody that powerful like Danielle, how often can you actually surge over and over again to where, okay, if she catches you and stops you, then what? What else do you have? If by chance this match goes into the strap, I don't think it's going to bode well for Le'Aaron. I don't know if it's best of 5. I'm going to say it is best of 5, but I'm going to say there will be a time where Le'Aaron surprises her. But I'm thinking Danielle with that much power and her savvy on the table. I think Le'Aaron has more technical skills on the table, but when you have that much power and her background, and she's starting to learn the sport quickly too, I think it's going to go in Danielle's favor. So with that, I'm going to say Danielle will win 3-1. Again, this is nothing personal. Now, the next match we're going to talk about, okay, Ryan Morin. I hope I'm saying that right. If you don't know who Ryan is, it's Rebecca Todd's son, Monster Michael Todd's stepson, home field advantage, all that kind of stuff, right? All right. So he's pulling Joel Cagle. Now, first of all, I want to give props to Joel because he brought it to my attention, and he was like, "Hey, do you mind doing a prediction show for an event because no one's talking about it?" And Joe, for all intents and purposes, honestly, I was probably going to get to that next week, but we got the Winter Fest coming up this coming Saturday in a few days, so it's kind of like I think all eyes were kind of on that. Not that this doesn't deserve any eyes, but hey, I'll be the first to talk about it, right? Good, I get to jump on everybody. So because Winter Blast is taking up all the excitement, all the attention because Artem will be there, Uncle John will be there, Cobra's going to be in the house. I don't think he's going to pull, but he'll be there. Jamie Sheldon, Jason Merlot, list goes on and on. So everybody's kind of focused on that because that's this Saturday. Now, with that being said, Joel and Ryan. So look at Ryan's accolades. He's been to nationals, right? He's won nationals in the junior division. Now, keep in mind, Ryan comes from a household of arm wrestling because when you're the stepson of Monster Michael Todd, you're the mom of Rebecca Todd, it's family first, arm wrestling training second or whatnot, right? So you have to know there's some kind of hey, I got this. Maybe some home field advantage. I don't mean that in a bad way, but just to where it's like it's home for him. There's something about pulling a super match or a tournament in your backyard. It could be your actual house. It could be your city, state, whatever. There's something about that where you don't have to travel. You don't have to catch a plane. You don't have to worry about hotel accommodations. You don't have to worry about none of that kind of stuff, and it goes in your favor. But what I will say this is that Joel is nobody to sleep on, right? In fact, Joe, I know you're watching, and without giving away all your secrets, right, in the chat. So, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm Joel, I would want to get every match in the strap. Okay? Here's why. Because I think Joel has a lane that he can manipulate Ryan in. Now, Ryan, is well-rounded. Don't get me wrong, well-rounded. But I think if Joel finds that lane, whatever lane that is, he's going to find it. But you got to exploit that. And I think you can do it more in the strap. And once you do that in the strap, then it's up to Ryan to go, okay, now I got to make the adjustment. But can I make that adjustment? Can I make that adjustment? I don't know. He's going to have Monster in his corner. Hey, do this, do that. So be prepared for a bunch of, plan B, plan C, maybe even a plan D if that's the case, okay? I'm assuming you guys are pulling right-handed, but I think if Joel gets that lane, he's going to go ahead and do that. Paul Stevens, what's up, my man? Paul Stevens is another guy I like because, him and I have history and stuff. We haven't got our schedules right there, but one of these days, Paul Stevens and myself will have a match one of these days. Looking forward to that. Now, as for my prediction, I'm going to say, and this is where people might jump all over me, how many people get on my case if I said Joe was to win 3-2? Honestly, because I think he'll find a lane. I think he'll go back and forth, but I think Joe will dig deep, find something, exploit it, and then take it over. So I'm going with Joel 3-2, okay? Now, as we go on, the names and the matches are getting bigger and bigger. So let's talk about Luke Polsher and Bill Logsdon. Now, Luke, for all intents and purposes, will be one of the refs right there, and as will Tim Thomas. So while Luke is having a super match, Tim Thomas will be the head ref at that, okay? So Luke and Bill. Luke is a bona fide, guy. He's a Team USA guy. When you go to WAF Worlds, he's always on that. He's always making Team USA, going there, kicking ass, doing what he needs to do. Double duty. Awesome arm wrestler, awesome ref. You know, he knows. And here's the thing. I don't think people understand this, but when you are a certified ref, there's a distinct advantage you have because when you know the rules, right? And you kind of got to know where the lane, you kind of know things that maybe your typical arm wrestler doesn't really think about, right? Seriously. I think Luke Pulcher, not Kent, I think he can surprise some people. I really do. But I don't know if he can overwhelm. He might be overwhelmed with Bill's his hand strength, because hands of steel, that's what he has tattooed on his arm, right? Or hands of steel. Sorry about that. So hands of steel, he has that on there. And I think, once Bill, for some reason, when he grips up, and I've gripped up with him before, just, in practice pulling or whatever, and you grip up with him, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's this, and you can't get out of it. You can't slip out of it. Not a lot of people do, but it's hard to slip out of that. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So it's one of those deals where, can Luke even get out of his hand? I don't know. Luke might have the veteran and say, look, man, I'm going to do this. But I just don't see it. And again, this is nothing against Luke, but I think Bill's going to take this 3-0. And we're going to go through all this too. I'm going to repeat myself too. So 3-0, Logsdon's going to win. Now, this is what I was going to talk about, because I want to really put emphasis on this. Russ Schrader, good friend of mine, Justin Bear. I think people tend to sleep on Justin Bear. If you never met the guy and the first time you ever saw him in person, this guy looks like a baby version of Braun Strowman. The guy got shoulders bigger than people's hubcaps. He got traps taller than mountains. The guy's put together, got 24 horsepower. He's Hulkamania all over, with a long beard, And I really want to touch something about this match, because both guys, I don't think, because of their styles, I don't foresee a strap match. I don't. Or unless if I see a strap match, it's because if Russ tends to go inside, right? Justin's very powerful, and maybe Russ doesn't want to do that. So Russ may say, okay, let's just say match one. Let's just go ahead and play devil's advocate for a second. Match one, Russ decides to go inside. I'm sorry, it's left-handed. Russ decides to go inside, right? And all of a sudden, he realizes that, okay, I don't have that in here. Cool, whatever. He'll fight, but then Justin gets to win. Now, from all I've seen, that's all Justin does, right? If you see the video on him, which I've seen, it's, I'm going to get you in the hook and I'm going to just wear you out, okay? Not a bad strategy for the most part. Thing is, though, is that the last match I saw, I was watching a video before we got on here, and he had a match earlier this year with, matter of fact, I think it was last month, with Tim Lewis, right? And he went down 2-0 to Tim, but he came back and won 3 straight. So he has the wherewithal to be down the match and not panic, right? But the one thing that stuck out to me was the fact that I'm like watching, kind of going, okay, he likes to get these long grinders, right? Now, 2 things that stick out to me, right, with Justin versus Russ. I don't think Russ is going to sit there. The one thing what Tim did with Bear is that they kind of both went into it like that. I mean, just drag out power for power. Russ is not going to do that. Russ is going to like, okay, if by chance, and we're still doing this devil's advocate thing, here's the deal. Okay, Russ is down 1-0. Russ is not going to get into a grinder and see who can, outlast who. He's going to do his move, maybe get into a strap, maybe top roll, and take him to the pad. So then it's 1-1. Now, guess what? The ball's in Justin's court, okay? So now he has to make the adjustment. Problem is that I don't think he can make the adjustment. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it, because the majority of matches I see of him, he's in here. Like I said, not a bad thing. But if someone takes you over, you're not going to have time to get engaged unless it's the first match. Because, normally that match number 1, sometimes, more often times than not, is that fill-out match, right? You kind of see, you grip up with somebody, you kind of going, okay, you kind of feel, it's the field test, right, to see what they got. And once that match is all said and done, then somebody's going to make an adjustment, right? Well, let's go ahead. What we got here? Russ Shredder was talking about Logsdon. Bill's style is very tough. His post rotation is amazing. Exactly. Phil Woody, UK, what's up, man? How you doing? Joe said, I think me and Ryan will be very close match. I'm excited to put on the show. I can't say much for Luke and Bill. I'm going to be the down ref for that match. Yes, yeah. So if you're going to be a down ref, you probably shouldn't say anything because that way there's no gray area. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that when it comes to a super match, you know, because I'm assuming, you know, you don't want to get into no drag match if you don't have to, right? If you don't have to. Now look at Russ for a second. Let's talk about Russ, for example. Guy just came off the Nat Fit Open, right? 3. And that was what, last week? And the guy just tore it up. I think I believe he went undefeated left and right. Okay. So take that in consideration. And, you know, I'll be seeing Russ in person in June at my tournament coming down here later in the year. So hats off to you, Russ, man. You impressed me because as I'm at working graveyard, and I sat there, I had nothing but free time. I happened to watch some of that, and he looked explosive. Now, with that explosiveness, can Justin Bear catch that explosive? I don't know. Can he position his body to where when Russ hits, he can just sit there and absorb that hit? We don't know yet. You know, maybe, you know, Russ will say, you know what? I feel good. I'm going to go inside just to see where he's at. Or how about this? What if Russ is up 2-0? Okay. He's up 2-0. And then he goes, you know what? I'm up 2-0. I'll just go ahead and just go into his power just to see what happens. So I can code different ways, you know. Russ is, said Justin isn't ready for this power. Okay. There's two ways of talking about power, right? So here's one. One is the raw strength. There's the power where we'll say Toddzilla, for example. Power, Cataract, power, just power. Michael Todd, power. But then there's that explosiveness. That's also power too, right? And what I saw from Russ at the NetFit Open was just straight up explosiveness to where I'm like going, wow, you know, wow. So I'm going to say left hand, Russ takes this one 3-1. And I'm saying that because I think, you know, Justin's going to go ahead and he'll be fresh. Match 1, he'll be fresh. He'll take him down. But I think Russ might sit there and go, you know what? I'm a drain. And the bigger the bicep, the bigger the problem when all that blood fills up, right? I think Russ will use that to his advantage, right? Drain him out. 3-run, Mr. Shredder takes this one. Now, we got 3 more matches left to talk about, and these are big ones. And thanks, everybody, for hitting the like button. Feel free to do it again. And keep commenting on the live check. This is nice stuff. Joel Cagle says, yes, Russ, you're coming with a full head of steam. And I'm telling you right now, man, I mean, if you go look at the NetFit Open 3, Russ just went ahead and just cleaned up shop, okay? Now we're starting to get to the big daddies, okay? Paul Lynn, Ron Bath. Now, there's something to be said for that. Anytime a person has an opportunity to pull a legend in the sport, you don't turn it down. You come in the best shape of your life. Now, here's a question, though. And I'm going to use the reference when Paul Lynn pulled John Brzezinski, right? I'm not sure Paul wants to do the same thing he did last time. Because if you notice, or if you heard, after that match he had with Brzezinski, Paul said, hey, man, here's the deal. I don't want to weigh 230 or whatever it was, 227, whatever it was he got for Brzezinski. He actually weighed that much. And he said he felt sluggish. He felt like, you know, he wasn't himself, you know, because they tried to play the weight game, right? The size game. Why are so many people doing that, by the way? I don't understand why are people doing the size game. I really don't, because it's like, oh, I got to be this much to pull this person. I'm going to tell you why, because what I'm about to talk about, I'm going to reiterate that for another match, the main event of this card, and you'll see why. Now, the size game, right? I don't think Paul wants to do that, but does he need to do that in order to pull Ron Bath? Now, Ron Bath just came off the East versus West showdown, right-handed, and man, that was probably even a losing effort. and I think he still got screwed, honestly. That's just my opinion. I still think Ron Bath got screwed, but it is what it is. It's in Turkey. Say what you want, whatever. Is that Carl Stanley in the house? What's up, dude? What is going on? Um, Here's the thing, man. So Paul Lynn, this is where you have to be smart. All right. Yeah, he's a strong dude. Don't get me wrong. He has that. I mean, hell, he trains with Justin Bear, I believe, right? He's part of that Lethal Arms group down there in Pennsylvania. So the thing is, though, you got to realize is that does Paul really want to go that route again? I had to put all this muscle on, all this size, just to take on John Brzezinski, and it didn't work for him. So now what's he thinking? Because the first thing he said, I think one of his interviews after the match is, I don't want to be like that, you know. But now here we are with Ron Bath. So do you go there knowing that, okay, I did this with John Brzezinski and it didn't work? Do I do that same, blueprint and pull Ron Bath? Is that going to do the same thing? Diamond, what's up, man? How you doing? What's the word? Is that a smart idea? I don't know. Can you be technical? We're gonna have to see. Ah, I I love Paul to death. I really do. But like I said, you really want to know where you stand, you got to pull some of these big guys, you know. But with that being said, I hate to do this, but I'm picking Ron to win 3-0. And I'm not saying that because, Paul's not worthy. I'm just saying it because there's something to say when you have tons of experience, right? There's something to say about that. And John was working his way up. Ron's just coming off this kick-ass fucking. Now, I'm not saying if you compare Ron's opponent, which I forgot the dude's name, if you compare him to Paul Lynn, and Ron went to the limit to take a 3-2 loss. And like I said, that match 5 might have been controversy. Now, you compare that guy that Ron pulled to Paul Lynn, and this ain't nothing bad toward Paul Lynn at all. I like the guy. Stand-up guy, one of the nicest guys in the sport. But you gotta understand, like, there's levels to this. There is. And is Paul up there? I think, like I said, it's one of those situations where if you have an opportunity to pull somebody in the upper echelon, you say yes. Doesn't matter. You say yes. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Sorry, Ron will take this one 3-0. And if you guys don't agree with me, prove me wrong. I've been wrong before. It's not a big deal. 2 matches left. BJ Focus and Don Underwood. And I saw BJ back in December at the Washington State Championships, and he looked beastly. Big. I mean, the guy will walk in a place and cast a shadow, and oh, BJ, what's up, dude? That kind of stuff. Don Underwood. Here's the thing about Don. You're waiting, you're waiting for the Don when he came back to the sport. Where's that Don Underwood? Now, I've talked to Don on the phone after the Arnold, and we talked privately. I'm not going to get into what we talked about, but, he's making adjustments, and I think another 6 months from now, I think Don's going to is he going to be back to where he was? I don't know because he's getting a little older, right? He's getting a little older, so we'll have to find out. But I think when you have somebody like BJ, big tall guy, and sometimes I always wonder when somebody who's a quick explosive hitter like Don Underwood, and you get to go against somebody who has a long arm, and I'm kind of going, okay, is that going to get to a point where elbow fouls come into play? You may have to change your angles, change your style, and I say that because next month, April 23rd, Don Underwood's pulling Wayne Withers, Arizona State Championships. Another guy, strong hand, long arm. Okay, so maybe this is a match that Don needs to go, okay, this match will prepare me for the next match. That might be true. So here's BJ, strong. If he loads back, I mean, and Don has a strong arm, strong hand and wrist, but it's kind of short as in comparison to somebody with a longer lever, right? That kind of thing. So what happens? Does Don and I pray to God he keeps his elbow on the pad for all intents and purposes. If Don's gonna win, here's my advice. To the strap, so that way you suck everything in. Because my experiences pulling somebody with a longer arm, and I'm just purposely doing this, I'm still leaving. But my thing about pulling somebody with a longer arm and you grip up, You have to create that pressure. If you create that pressure, stay tight, create that down pressure. First of all, if you're in a strap, they can't come out your hand, right? They can't do that. You know, they really can't. Joel Cagle says he's excited to see Underwood and BJ. Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, that right there, that might I'm not gonna say that might be the match of the day, but it's gonna be it's gonna be real explosive. But if Don's gonna win, he has to win that in the straps. I think if he tries to top roll him, it's not gonna work in his favor. Therefore, I think BJ will get at least 2 wins. Don will get 2 wins. It'll go like this. God, I hate doing these. Don's gonna win 3-2, and I'm gonna tell you why. BJ's 2 wins. One will be actual pin. The second one will be because Don Underwood elbow fouls. Okay, so there's 2 of BJ's wins right there. Don will win. It'll be a fucking strap fest. Ref script, all that kind of stuff. Don will win on the quick go. I think because of the way they're going to do this, I think Don will win on an elbow foul, right? So you got 2 and 2, both legit pins. The other 2 wins are elbow fouls on 1 in each. And the 5th match will come down where Don gets into the strap, keeps it inside, and drags him down. I think that's how my match goes. So with that, I'm picking Don to win 3-2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 matches, guys. Let's recap for a second. Danielle, I think she's going to win 3-1 against Leanne Wilson. I think Joe Cagle will win 3-2 versus Ryan Morin. I think Logsdon will sweep Luke Polsher. I think Russ Schroeder, left-handed, will beat Justin Bear in a powerful match, but a smart match. 3-1. Bath will sweep Paul Lynn. And Don Underwood will win 3-2 with some elbow foul wins in the process. Now we get to the main event. I'm going to take my glass of tea, take a sip, and really think about this because I have a valid interest in this match coming up. Because Michael Todd, Robbie Topi. And by the way, for all the people who don't know, this is a left-handed match. So my mic, can y'all hear me? Because my mic is right here. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I'm kind of sitting back. If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up or say yes or something. So here it is. Now, after Michael's loss to Gennady, and it was right-handed, by the way, I never seen Michael in his funk before. There's not too many times where Michael Todd takes a couple losses in a row, by the way. So thank you, Phil Woody. And, just to hear him talk, it was disturbing for me because I'm like, dude, where's the Michael Todd that I know? The Michael Todd we all know. Like, it was almost like he was signing autographs. If you can go back on his channel, he was signing autographs, okay? And he just sounded defeated. His body language sounded like he was defeated, and it was like, what the hell, man? I'm like, dude. And honestly, I think when you're somebody like Michael Todd or anybody who wins with a certain move, we'll talk about the King's move for a second. And you got to understand this, that he got so much shit for so many years about that move. It's the Queen's move, and you're sitting underneath the table, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. I think it bothered him because, Mike's a nice guy. Honestly, I know him personally. I know Rebecca personally. They're nice people. Big fan of those guys. Really, I am. And, I know it hurts because he's a family man. I know it hurts when people just talk shit on him. I know it pisses him off on the surface, but I know deep down it kind of bothers him, It almost seems like that he kind of got away from what he did best. And I don't know if it's because he got so much shit and he got tired of hearing it, and he just got away from what he did best. And I'm thinking, as long as you're winning, who the fuck cares, right? Carl Stain says he's very interested in this match too. Yeah, because don't you have a super match left-handed with Michael Todd coming up or something like that? So, but he just seemed defeated. It's like going, I ain't the same Michael I know. However, Michael has all these left-handed matches coming up, but you got to understand something though. This is left-handed now. meaning that he's a total different puller than he is right-handed, okay? Seriously, he is, because we all know, if you follow Michael Todd like I do, I'm a big fan of his, you also know that there's more of a shoulder press on the left than there is on the right, and it's very deadly. In fact, I like that version better, honestly. I mean, yes, the King's move gets you some W's, which is what it comes down to, but I like that shoulder press move. I mean, back in the old school Arm Wars days before he jacked up his arm, when he was shoulder pressing the world, that should be a t-shirt, press the world, right? When he was shoulder pressing everybody, that stuff was so deadly. He was so quick about it, you know what I mean? So Carl, oh yeah, sorry, Carl, he's pulling Corey West. So yeah, he likes that. And Phil Whitty, he knows shoulder press city, baby. That's right, And the thing is, though, is that I'm not sure what to expect from Tyler. I really don't, because I don't know the last time he pulled a meaningful match on the left side. Because when he was the Supermatch specialist, all those were right-handed. I can't remember, honestly, the last meaningful match he had left-handed. Okay, I really can't. But then you got Robbie Topi, and the reason why I'm real invested in this match is because I have Robbie Topi June 11th at my event, right? Now, here's what makes me laugh sarcastically, but concerns me. So, before Robbie Topi started lining shit up, him and I are pulling, at my benefit tournament for my son and stuff. It's like a, exhibition match because I respect the guy, know his family, respect the guy that much. He goes, yeah, I'll pull, no big deal. I'm like, cool, Um, at that point, and we agreed about this last year, he was coming down in weight, right? Okay, he's about 235 or so. He was getting to that point. And I was talking to one of his teammates. He was like, oh, yeah, Robbie's coming down 235. I'm like, all right, cool. That'll work because I'm sitting at 230 right now. And then I hear he's pulling Michael Todd. There ain't no fucking way he's going to weigh 235 going against Michael Todd. Now, with that being said, think about that for a second. Robbie Topi has lined himself up good. I mean, he is not fucking around. I talked to Robbie, dude, what's up? You lined yourself up with all kind of matches in 2022. He goes, yeah, I'm taking everybody out. So here's Robbie, right? He even said, hey, I'm gonna prove everybody out there I'm the number 2 guy left-handed in the North America. I'm like, I like that. I really like that. He's gonna get his chance because now he feels like he's number 2. He's not ranked number 2. He feels that way. Let me get that out there. Now, Michael Todd next Saturday, Paul Passmore next month, and then Christian Benny the following month. All left-handed matches. And then me in June. But who am I compared to those guys, right? So, lock, stock, barrel. He's lining himself up. He's going to be the biggest version, strongest version of Robbie Topi out there. Now, you got to remember, Robbie Topi is a bona fide. He's a bona fide left-handed puller, right? Where Michael Todd, he could pull left. It's just his specialties on the right-hand side. And I have a real hard time trying to pick a prediction or winner for this. I really do. And this is where it gets real gray for me because I like both guys. I know their wives, their families. I like them. I mean, good, good standing with both of them. And, to pick one is just, I don't know. I really don't know. And if I ever have a prediction show, I can't pick a winner. That's how you have to put your personal feelings aside for something like this. But I can't. It's hard. What do you guys think? Michael Todd, Robbie Topi left-handed. What do you guys think? It's a lot easier for me to pick, Robbie Topi versus Christian Beanie. That's easy for me. I'm going with Robbie, But same thing with Paul Passmore, So the reason why I'm not saying anything with this is because he's going to be my opponent this summer. Robbie is. So it's real. If Robbie beats Michael, right? He beats Paul Passmore next month. He beats Christian Beanie in May, and then he rolls into Bend, Oregon in June. If I happened to get an upset on him, does that mean like, wow, I beat Topi, who just knocked off these 3 guys, and then I actually hung with them or beat them or find some way. But damn, What does that mean? But again, we'll go back to the size game. So, like I said earlier, with the size game, um, with about Bath and Paul Lynn, I'm not going to play the size game with Topi because it's like I don't want to sit there and weigh even 240 is pushing it for me, and I'm 230. I think I'm probably more, deadly at 220, more faster. I mean, I'm fast anyway, but probably faster at 220. I'm at 230, but I think 230 to pull somebody like Robbie, I have to be all of 230. But yeah, Michael Todd, Robbie Topi, I do not know. I don't know. I really don't know. It's hard. Russ Trader says, I think until Michael proves his left is back, you have to go with Robbie. And there's a part of me leaning toward that because again, we don't know the last time Michael had a meaningful left-handed match. And by the way, I mean Toby wouldn't need a clean house at Utah, that tournament they had last month in Utah. But I'm not sure, who was there. That was an actual threat. I mean, did he pull Cody Merritt? I don't know. I mean, you don't. That's just something you don't know. I think after this match, though, I will say after this match, then I have a better idea what to expect from Robbie going into his match with Paul Passmore next month. That I will say. But right now, it's like, yeah, I mean, he's looking strong, looking phenomenal. But you know, it just when I saw some of the after pulls and some of the tournament highlights there, Robbie was about here with everybody else. But you know, when you go against Michael Todd, you have to go like, hey, I got to be on my A game. And sometimes people need a tune-up tournament or a tune-up match, and don't take this out of context, people. But sometimes you need that kind of stuff to prepare yourself for something bigger, right? So like Don Underwood, not saying BJ Furkakis is a tune-up match, but he needs that match to prepare him for Wayne Withers next month. Oh, by the way, Wayne Withers, Don Underwood on the same card on the same day with Paul Passmore and Robbie Topi, if you're watching. Arizona State Championships, April 23rd, by the way. So I really don't know. There's too many question marks for me because, for that alone, I don't know where Mike is left-handed. Yeah, he might have traveled, across country in his RV and stuff, and was pulling everybody. Hey, I'll let you hit. I'll try to catch and bring him back. And maybe that was his you know, source of training, get ready for his super matches, right? But he also pulled left too. But we all know his left is not his thing. So I don't like I said, I don't know. I pulled Michael left. Doesn't mean I can beat him, but me and him kind of banged a couple times on the left-hand side, and he's strong as shit. Um, if you got out on his hand, you have a legit chance, but don't go inside with him because then it's just so quick. It's just like, oh shit. But Robbie Topi says, I think he stated that, hey, you know what? Let him go in the press. I'll stop it and press him back. So he's very confident. But like I said, I don't know where this is going because Aussie Arm Wrestler, what's up, man? How you doing? I really don't know. It's just it's wham. Oh, sorry, it's a left-handed match, so we're doing this right. So the thing is, Michael Todd will get real close, and it's just a quick boom, right? Like it doesn't take that much to go here, 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 right? But can you do it against Robbie? I don't know. I don't know. I'm having a hard time picking somebody, and I may just leave it out there because I do not know, and probably because when you have a valid interest in the match, because maybe one of those two guys is your opponent down the road, you probably want the guy you're going to pull to win. That way, if you make it somewhat, you hang him up, it kind of raises your status, I guess. But I really don't care about that really right now at this point. Because for me to pull Robbie Topi, it's the best of 5 left hand. If I get one win, that's a victory for me, period. But, we'll see. I don't know. Will he be worn out? Maybe there's a part of me that's like going, I want Robbie to win. So when I get to him, hey, or do you go the other side? Well, if Robbie loses to Michael Todd, then he loses to Paul Passmore, then he loses to Christian Benny, and then I'm like, oh, it's slim pickings for me. I get to go in there and see all those matches, and I'm watching all of them. Yes, sir. I'm getting the pay-per-view. I'm watching the matches, right? I'll be live in Arizona when I'll be dead center with him and Passmore, Christian Benny. I'll be there too in person. So it's like I really got a vested interest in this. But again, guys and girls, I don't know. I think this is probably the one where I'll have to just leave it open because I'm not sure with either. because you got one who really, haven't challenged anybody, like, okay, anybody is of significance to put a prediction on somebody like a Michael Todd. And on the Todd side, I have no idea the last time he pulled somebody that made a difference. I really don't know. So guys, help me out here. I don't know. I really don't know. Rush said, hey, you know what? We don't know from Michael, so he has to go at Robbie. Yeah, maybe, but Jesus Christ, dude, when you get Michael Todd in there and he goes like that, it's fucking deadly, man. It is. You guys should probably check it out because I'm telling you, man, I may have to watch more footage on both of them and do a separate, thing about those two because it's rough, guys. But anyway, let's recap one more time. Leanne Wilson, sorry, I think she's going to go down 3-1 to Danielle. I think Joe Cagle will beat Ryan 3-2. Bill Logsdon will beat Luke Polsher 3-0. Russ Schrader will beat Justin Bear 3-1. Like I said, that's going to be an awesome match. I think Bath will get the broomstick out on Paul Lynn. I think BJ Fakakis will go down to Don Underwood. And I'm going to leave the Michael Todd Robbie Topi match open. Open, says me. Now, bonus match has nothing to do with this card, but it has something to do with this weekend. Winterfest, Philadelphia, this Saturday. I have a good friend of mine, Aaron Yearsley, representing Northwest. He's pulling David Hobbs. And for all intents and purposes, it's always good to know about the household names. These guys are not household names by any stretch of the imagination, but they're up-and-comers, where they really want to get themselves on the map. So what do, right? This is what you do. I feel with these two guys that whoever the winner is going to get a big boost of momentum, big boost. However, I'm going to say something here. And I want you guys' input. When you have somebody who's like 5'10", right, against somebody who's 6'4", do you think that makes a huge difference? Yes or no? Now I'm going to take a sip of this. I want you guys to chime in on that. Somebody who's 5'10" against somebody who's 6'4", is there a slight advantage into who? Because that may play a role in this match on Saturday, Now, the thing is that Aaron came to my house in our camp, trained a couple weekends in a row to get ready for David Hobbs. We even sat there, and one of my teammates is 6'2". So we had him stand on a 45-pound weight plate just to give a couple inches up, just so we can see the difference, just so you know what you're up against. The only thing we didn't do is take off the actual elbow pad so we can kind of go, okay, well, shit, just so we can kind of get an idea. And, he's been training hard. Aaron's been training hard. He's representing Northwest. Of course, I'm going to go with my buddy Aaron, David Hobbs is a strong guy, though. Like, you, if you're not careful, you can get shocked. All right, Russ says, advantage goes to the taller guys most times. Taller guys usually have bigger hands and longer forearms. And exactly. And like I was saying, Russ, what we did, we had one of my teammates who's a bona fide 6'2" person. Hey, stand on this weight plate so you can be that much more taller. Now, did it make a big difference? I don't know. But if you saw the video, and I posted it on my Facebook, it's like, fuck, dude. Like Aaron's kind of looking at him like this. Like, seriously, looking up at him like that, That's what you're going against when you go against David Hobbs. When you go against somebody who's 6'4", that's what you do, Schrader also says only if they know how to use that to their advantage. Depends on the styles. Yeah. I think, Phil Wood, not if you're Sasha, right? I think if somebody who's 6'4", right? Follow me here. Tell me if this makes sense. Somebody who's 6'4" and you grip up with them, right? And they really had a nice post. You're damn near going to lift your opponent off the damn elbow pad, right? And you got to go, okay, so what the fuck? Like, you lift me off the elbow pad, I have a hard time keeping it down. So then what's the strategy? Do you go into a strap? You slip go into the strap so that way you can't do that, because normally if you try to pronate, he's just going to climb up and do this, right? So do you get in the strap, apply down pressure so he can't do that to negate his back pressure? I don't know. Preacher Arm Wrestling, what is up, my friend? He says the height would definitely make a difference if he knows how to use it. If he goes into a hook, then I would think the smaller guy has an advantage. for that reason right there. But here's the thing, though, guys. It's like a chess match. We all know we've been in matches on the table before where I got a distinct advantage. It's inside guy versus outside guys who can get to their spot first. It's the guy with the long arm, the guy with the short arm, whatever. The guy that can't cap his thumb because he has no long digits against the guy who can wrap around his hand. There's a counter for every move, which makes this sport awesome, by the way. But yeah, if I'm an inside puller against somebody who's 6'4", I'm gonna want to keep that bitch into the strap the whole time. Come to my world. If I'm the tall guy who's 6'4", I'm like, no. I got the digits to control your hand. You ain't going nowhere. Bow, whatever. So I don't know. But yeah, I am rooting for Aaron. I want him to win, but he has a major, major, major match in front of him. I kind of talked to him a little bit today, and he's mentally ready. I was like, okay, go make us proud. Go make the Pacific Northwest proud. But again, guys, it's 46 minutes here. That was pretty good. I didn't think I'd be on there that damn long, but it was pretty cool. This is pretty nice, you guys. So yes, I will be watching the pay-per-view. If you're on Michael Monster's Tie, you subscribe to his channel. I think I have all the information right there so you can subscribe to. I do believe. But yes, I'm excited. Russ Schrader, my man, I love you too. I hope you win your match. I predict you to win, so I hope you do win. I know my teammate Ryan Lance, he's going to be watching because you are pulling him at my event on June 11th. So that's going to be interesting to have too. So Russ says, I never pulled Aaron, but David is very strong. Exactly. So here's the funny part. David Hobbs, and I know Aaron Yersey. It's kind of like, well, we can exchange information, kind of go from there. But it's good because David's from the South. He trains with Paul Passmore. Shit, all strong down there. Aaron trains with a good group of guys up in the Portland, Oregon area. So there you go. But again, you guys, now we're 47 minutes in. But thank you for joining me on my prediction show. Be sure to subscribe to Michael Monster Todd's channel. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you order the pay-per-view. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to have all the guys from my team be there, and we're going to be watching. We're going to have a good time and stuff. So again, everybody, thanks for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. And as always, I see you when I see you. You guys be good to each other.